Hey, how are you?
Fantastic.
All
All
right.
right. Priced for a sucker in Lindenhurst.
Yeah. So there's two of them. When you see it, it's FJM, Lindenhurst, and Holbrook. It's pretty decent shape, but the machines are all 15 years old. 725,000. That's what they were asking for. It's crazy.
Easy money.
Yep.
There's a for rent sign and on the laundromat itself.
No.
Next door.
No, the laundromat's open. Yeah, that's next door. The laundromat's running.
Laundromat is operating and looks like a nice industrial space. Plenty of out of order signs, etc. But it is not the landlord or their constabulation that's trying to sell the place. It's the operator. Yeah,
I found this through one of these business brokers on the website. I didn't go through the NDA. Like, I didn't open it up. They just had enough information where it said Lindenhurst. I sent the link with it. It's obvious that it's the store. It's the only one that fits the description, and it fits it perfectly.
Sure.
So it's
well, the funny.
It's shot in the dark, but why not, right?
Well, the funny disconnect is always whether or not that they even have an existing lease in place. The landlord doesn't want someone spending retail for a business, whether it's a hot dog stand or a laundromat, and then turning around and trying to pay the rent on top of that. That's the part that makes sense to me and you, but not these people. Without further ado, let's hit them up.
15-year-old machines, they're going to start breaking it. He's going to have debt and rent, and now he's going to have to get new machines.
Correctamundo. All right, I'm dialing. Stand by. Hi, I'm looking to talk to a lease agent. This is a property in Lindenhurst.
Do you have a location in mind?
I do. I'm looking directly at it. My name is Danny D'Angelo, and I'm looking at Wellwood Avenue.
Yes. Sure. Hold on just a moment.
Thank you. It's a service.
Jeff Reese.
Jeff.
Yes.
Danny D'Angelo. I'm looking at some commercial space in Lindenhurst. This is on Wellwood Avenue. That's on your radar at all?
Okay.
There is a laundromat there. That's what I'm interested in, Jeff. I'm a laundry guy. I've been doing coin laundries in the tri-state area for about 15 years. My partner and I are always looking for locations with infrastructure, which is obviously here. And we're looking for leases. We're looking for long-term lease agreements. I normally retool the stores right away, operate. I'm not a broker. I'm not an agent. I don't flip or sell my laundries. Call this an introduction. I'm not sure if you're aware, the tenant in this location is making an attempt to sell their business, but I'm not interested in buying it.
I am aware of it.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Not interested in buying it.
I am aware.
Good. I don't buy the business. That's just something I don't do. I'm not interested in giving someone a departure fee, if you will. And if they're good and they have a long-term lease with, go ahead.
No. I understand. So you became aware of it based on a listing, or you've already communicated with the tenant? I'm just trying to understand.
Good question. Exactly. Neither. I don't communicate with the tenants, as, again, my MO is pretty simple. I'm always looking for long-term leases. The way that I located this spot, through a physical scout. My partner and I located the business. We've been looking at it for some time. The listing is really neither here nor there for me, if that makes sense. It doesn't matter that the business is for sale in the fact that I'm not looking to buy it. And again, kind of a step back. I mean, a lot of businesses fall apart and eventually end up walking away. This is not the worst laundry I've seen. It's far from the worst or the best. And you might say, hey, look, they're good. They pay on time. They have a lengthy lease in place. Maybe we don't have anything to talk about, but call this an introduction, like I said. But I don't look at listings. Because I'm not interested in buying. I'm after the infrastructure that's here, if that makes sense.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, when you say the infrastructure, meaning just the piping, because obviously if this tenant doesn't end up extending his lease or finding someone who wants to buy who we deem acceptable, I would imagine that they would likely be taking their equipment with them. I don't know, but so are you referring to the equipment or just the plumbing infrastructure and the electric infrastructure?
Sure. Another good question. The infrastructure in a laundromat is gas, water, electric, the city side sewage. There's a lot. So in a 3,000 square foot laundry, you might be spending $300,000, $400,000 before you end up with one piece of equipment. So that's the infrastructure
Right, so
I'm
whether there's
interested in.
equipment or not, so the equipment holds no interest to you.
Well,
What I'm just trying to find.
that is correct. It does not. In all of the takeovers that are non-hostile that I've conducted, the equipment has been taken out in maybe 2% of those, because if it was doing well for them in place, they would be earning and they wouldn't want to sell their business, if that makes
Well, the
sense.
machinery is useless. Once it's in, that doesn't really have much of the resale value, probably half.
Brilliant.
That's assuming it's brand new.
I like your style, Jeff,
Quick.
because rather than saying yes, no, or indifferent, you kind of want to understand where I'm coming from and get the full picture. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I just want to understand it.
Yeah.
So
The equipment
it's
itself it has a shelf life. I can keep equipment running for 25 years with spit, vinegar, and Band-Aids, but it's not going to really earn me money when I'm spending 10 hours a day keeping it running. So every 7 years, our tax depreciation runs out. So typically we're looking for a 7-year shelf life. And in a good, well-run coin laundry, every 7 years, the equipment's going to be wrung out anyway. So get rid of it. The only thing that your tenant can sell is the goodwill, the signage that's out front, and their long-standing name. But they try to sell the equipment. And like I say, you and I understand it really doesn't have any value to me.
right, and I'm sorry, how many different laundromats do you currently own?
36.
36. And what's the name of the deal?
I'll send you an email. You can crawl up our ass. You can look at the links. You can go visit the stores. It's not a lot. There's really no national chains in laundromats because it is a cash business. It's like nail salons. It just doesn't make sense. No one's ever able to figure it out. They tried it in the Southwest. Can't really build hundreds and hundreds of stores nationwide because cash is king and cash works best in these stores. But if you do it right, we use Alexa systems in the stores. We run our stores 24/7, no matter where they are. It's not that bodega with bulletproof glass. It's just running a good, well-run store. Let me guess, you don't go to the laundromat every week. Neither do I. So we're not consumers. But you and I could talk about a good steakhouse or a slice of pizza and say, man, I'd never go there because we're good consumers. But in this case, running laundries isn't hard. It's really just equipment, which is what we already talked about. Not difficult. Trust me, I could go on and on. So go ahead.
I guess my question is, you mentioned something in passing where you've done, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I don't know, you said something about hostile or agreed upon. I mean, generally speaking, I have a good relationship with the existing operator, whether he's going to, as I just mentioned, whether he's going to renew or continue to try and sell and find someone who we deem acceptable. Who knows?
Right.
That can work out.
And what I said was, Jeff, do you own the building? You sound like you do.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell by your tone and tenure. So I hate the term landlord. I own commercial property as well, and that's a pretty ancient term, but you're obviously a good one because that should be your first and most important relationship. You have that bird in the hand as well. This is non-hostile for us. I'm communicating with you, have never spoken with the tenant, don't know who the tenant is. I know that there's a listing. They want $725,000 for the business, which I don't laugh at that. I don't have any opinion about it, but I know that I could build this store from scratch for far, far less than that. And so they're starting to lose grip on their goodwill. Again, it's not about your tenant. I don't know the gentleman or the group or the real estate investment trust that runs this laundry. And not a bad store at all. What you want are good tenants, and you want a good relationship with said tenant. I'd like to become that tenant if and when the time comes. I can text you my email address. Again, I can send you back an email with our stores, our locations, how my partner and I work. Just want to become that good tenant. We're always after the infrastructure, but I'm not excited about any one store until I'm bleeding ink or losing money, if that makes sense.
No, I understand. Well, the situation on this store is, and I imagine you've seen the listing or you referenced it, their lease is coming due next year.
Oh.
So this is, I've already reached out to operators I deal with to gauge interest in the event that, something doesn't come to pass.
This was a fortuitous moment in time to make this connection because I don't know you. I don't have your number in my phone. And let's do that. We'll exchange emails. If this guy walks, look, he's probably made $1 million in this store, but not to come to you. Has he come to you? I shouldn't even ask. I'm just wondering, how would someone let their lease end up 12 months out and then try to sell the business? Who would buy it?
I'm not sure. I don't have an answer for that. Like I said, he's always, he's not the original, I don't know, probably 10 years, I would say. And he had multiple laundromats. I'm not sure if he still does. He might very well. But I can't get into the mindset of, somebody else.
The one thing that we have on this side of the business, whether it's a yogurt shop or a national chain or a coin laundry, we have that lease, and that lease is a covenant. And to not march in first thing and sign another long-term lease before the sale of the business, to me, doesn't make sense. There's no security there. You get it. We might talk in, 10 months, and we'll discuss, will he take the equipment out? Again, we've already discussed it. I hate to go round and round with your time. Let me, text me your email address.
I don't have the answers. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to wind up or whether that's even going to come to pass. So yeah, you could certainly shoot me your email, or I can give you my email.
Please, just text it to me, Jeff, and I consider you a friend. I'd love to do business with you. I'm Danny D'Angelo. My partner's first name is Danny. I'll CC him in the email as well. And who knows? It sounds like you're steeped in the real estate here in New York, and we might do business elsewhere, as long as there's infrastructure. I don't build these stores from scratch.
No, I got you. I don't, you called me on my office number, so
okay.
I don't know what your telephone number is.
All right, this is your office?
Hello?
Yeah, what's your email address?
It's JREI. ALTY.com.
All right, perfect. I appreciate you, Jeff. I will send you a little how do you do. We're not at the LOI phase quite yet, so we're golden. And I appreciate knowing you. We'll talk soon.
All right, fair enough.
God bless. Well, there's
first bite or possibility for me.
Look, here's the way this works. This is a 6-minute telephone call with a landlord, actual business owner. The guy is selling the business for $725,000, and he has nothing to sell.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I heard. I make these calls all day, every day, and you're right. Look, I'm not here to blow smoke up your ass or tell you that this is your first laundry. We're not there yet. But if I were this dude, operating this business, I would be scared to death because no one is going to look at this deal and say, oh yeah, here's $725,000 for rented space. Now let me go talk to the landlord. Jeff seems like an intelligent guy. Let me go negotiate a lease on top of that, on the back of that.
Yeah, it just blows my mind. The next one's even better. I think it's like 1.2 million.
1.2 million.
Yeah, something like that. Same owner.
You know,
same laundromat.
On my YouTube channel, I should probably just call business brokers all day and just ask them what they're selling. Because when I accidentally have a student like you who puts information in front of me and we accidentally call the business broker, it ends up being a comedy of errors.
Yeah.
We should have a ticker. 5 minutes. Jeff, let me see, Danny, if I can get this guy in 5 minutes to admit that there's no value in this store. Because they do. Every time.
Yeah, well, that was a wonderful conversation. I definitely see some hope there.
Yeah, thank you.
You know?
Here, what's the real light at the end of the tunnel? It wasn't spoken, it wasn't said. What is the real light at the end of the tunnel?
Lease is up in a year.
And you're close. You're really close. What's next? Why? Jeff says, I'm beholden to my tenant. I'm beholden to that relationship. You know he's a good guy. He's very relaxed and calm, as am I. We're having a good conversation. At the end of the day, he knows that we know this business better. But what did he say? Why is he not renewing this tenant?
Yeah. Yeah, why? And like you said, why isn't he doing a 15-year lease before he tries to sell it? So at least he has something to sell.
The landlord said, I'm aware that the business is for sale. I know about the listing, but I'm not going to give you got a savvy businessman, the laundromat operator, multiple stores in 3 states who calls up and says, look, I want to take over the space. He says, good, give me about 10 months and we'll make it happen.
There you go.
Phenomenal. And this isn't magic. This isn't luck that made this happen. People say, well, I want to get lucky. I want to find a store. I don't care if it's Phoenix, New York. And we hear this time and time again. Well, it's not going to happen here. Chicago's different. No, it's not. It's simply not.
How are the leases, by the way? Do you get $1 square foot in this area? Or, because I see everything that they're posting is like $2 square foot. Is that more reasonable for the area?
Great question. No. If you're a landlord and you tell me that it's $2 a square foot for the area, I know I've got you, because this is an argument. That's what negotiating is. It's an argument. We want to win. You want to win. Marriage is different, right? You're married. The argument means come in the middle. That's the only thing where there's an actual win-win, right? You're upset, she's upset. I'm not a marriage counselor, trust me. When this landlord says $2 per square foot is what we get in this area, then we have an argument. You say, okay, for what business? Well, the Mexican restaurant is the anchor tenant here. They've been here for 27 years. And I'll tell you what, Danny, every 4 years they come to me hat in hand begging for a rent reduction, and we up their rent 25 cents, 50 cents, depending on the economy, the area. Laundromats are different. Why? Because the people that eat at that Mexican restaurant would never step foot in the laundromat. Take the entire demographic of the area. What does the area have to do with the laundromat? Nothing. There's more to it. And I'll ask that landlord, you don't frequent laundromats? I'm not going out on a limb. He doesn't. He doesn't understand the business. The other thing, when we take over, we're going to have massive debt service on brand new equipment. What does that do to the rent rate?
Yeah.
Does a nail salon have massive debt service? They put some chairs in and they have employee costs, right? If I've got dozens of cousins that want to come work for me, I'll open a nail salon. A national chain, they're spending millions of dollars so that the chain can advertise. Different. They'll pay $2 a square foot. A dollar store is trying to find tchotchkes from China, get them here in time to sell them for $1 when they pay 50 cents. Talk about the business. I'm not a professional lease negotiator. I don't have initials after my name. I'm a professional laundromat dude. And every landlord appreciates that.